Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about the 5 levels of environmental organization. We have biosphere, ecosystem, community, population, and organism. So if we were in class right now, I'd have you writing down the definitions and drawing a picture for each one of these slides. So if you have a paper and pencil, please go ahead and try to do that on your own. So let's go ahead and get started with our first level of organization. So the smallest level of organization is an organism. So an organism is an individual animal, plant, or single-celled life form. So you could draw one single flower. That's an organism. One single zebra. One unicellular bacteria. One human being. One individual animal, plant, or single-celled form is an organism. So go ahead and write down and draw an organism. And you can pause the video, of course. Population is next. So a population takes all of those organisms that are the same species in the same area, and it gives us an amount. So I'm one organism, I'm one human, but there's a population of humans in San Antonio. All the humans in San Antonio, all the humans in this one area gives me a population. All the zebras in this one area gives me a population. All the grasshoppers that live within this one bush can give me a population. A population is a group of organisms of the same species that live together. So go ahead and draw yourself a population. Your last picture should have been one flower or one human. Now do many flowers, do many humans. Those are our populations. But in reality, we don't just live with one species. Even in San Antonio, it's not just humans. There are birds, there are squirrels, there are dogs and cats, there are bugs. There are different populations of different types of species that we interact with. And just like in this picture, there's not just zebras, there's elephants, there's antelopes, there's different species, there's different populations of species in this area, but they all interact together and they make something called a community. So community, a group of organisms living in the same place and sharing the same characteristics. I want you to think about that. What do all of these organisms share in common? What do they all need that might be similar? What are their commonalities? What are their similarities? So take some time to think about that, but also take a minute to write down what a community is and go ahead and draw yourself a community. So you might have drawn um, at first one single flower for your organism, and then your population, you might have drawn many flowers. But now, if you're still drawing flowers, draw many different types of flowers. Or you could draw many different types of animals, okay, all interacting in the same place. But they have to be animals that share the same characteristics. So I wouldn't have a community that has sharks and zebras together. That wouldn't be a community because they don't share the same characteristics. Okay, so when you're drawing your community, make sure it's accurate. Next, we have something called an ecosystem. And this is one of our questions, or one of our discussion questions. What is an ecosystem? It says an ecosystem is made of a community and the abiotic environment of the community. So not only is it the living organism, abiotic components of the community. So an ecosystem isn't just the animals, what types of species are working together. It's, well, what type of temperature? Is it an ocean? Do you live in the desert with lots of sand? Those abiotic factors can control, well, what type of animals can live here. If we are in a desert with a high temperature and lots of sand and very little water, you're not going to find the same types of species that you would find in a rainforest ecosystem. So our ecosystem is made of the organisms that can survive and tolerate those abiotic factors. An ecosystem is the living and non-living parts, the abiotic and biotic factors interacting together. That makes us an ecosystem. So we're not just talking about those living things, we have to think about the non-living parts that make up the ecosystem. They make each ecosystem unique. The largest part, so I gotta go back. When you're drawing, you should be drawing. So go ahead and for this one, draw the water. You can draw the rain. You can draw the sun. You can draw the desert. You can draw the ocean. Make sure that you're drawing, okay? And then the last one, this is the easiest one to remember. Bio means life. Biosphere is a part of Earth where life exists, which is almost everywhere. It says it extends from the deepest parts of the ocean to the highest part in the air where plants' spores may drift. So our biosphere is all of Earth, and it's going to be the easiest for you to draw. So make sure you take some time and review those words. Hopefully you are drawing along. And if you are confused or you have any questions, just make sure you let me know, okay?